Good evening everyone, Nivola here again. Another nightcap note, and tonight I'm going to do a comparison with two blended scotches. Both of them well-known names. I've got a Chivas Regal and I've got a Dimple. With this difference, the Chivas Regal, labelled XV, which is Roman numerals for 15. So this is a Chivas Regal 15 years old. And this is a Dimple 15-year-old. Lovely bottle, the Dimple. That might be a quote from a Monty Python sketch too. So let's have a look at both of these. 15-year-old blended Scotch, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's not mostly malt whisky, but there's probably a little bit of grain in there. So the colour of this is light amber, I suppose you'd describe it. So it's got a nice nose. There's marmalade and almost like stewed apples and sultanas and maybe a bit of honey. It's a very appealing nose. The master blenders, you know, they do a marvellous job year after year. They produce whiskies that are very similar to last year's batch, and they always end up with something that's pretty good. So this is smooth. It's got a really nice velvety mouthfeel. It's yeah, I like it. I don't know whether you've eaten a lolly, we call it in Australia. I know some places they call it candy. It's a caramel lolly called columbines, and there's a lot of that columbine flavour in there, as well as a bit of butterscotch. It's really nice. It's not a long finish though, it's a mid-length finish. There's a bit of vanilla and fruits, and there's a slight bitterness, which is not necessarily unpleasant, but this is definitely a cut above the Chivas 12-year-old, which at the moment my Chivas 12-year-old's going into rusty nails. Some might say that's a waste, but you know, good quality stuff usually makes a good drink. Let's have a look at the Dimple 15-year-old. So these are supposedly very similar, and the colour is about the same, a medium amber perhaps in this one, but looks good. Oh, and there's spice and caramel and yeah, a bit of oak on the nose. It also smells quite appealing. And once again, that's really smooth, lovely mouthfeel. There's no burn. There's a bit of white pepper in there and honey and toffee, and yet it's all in balance. Nothing dominates. This is pretty handy. And it's a reasonably long finish, a bit longer than the Chivas, and it continues to be warming and lively on the tongue. There's a bit of dry oak and I hate to say it, but it's almost got a fudge taste about it. This is elegant and smooth. Both of these whiskies are very similar. However, the Dimple, for me, is just ahead of the Chivas. But, as I've often said, and I've said it earlier on, the master blenders do a wonderful job. And year after year, they turn out whisky that tastes like this for us to enjoy. I hope you also enjoy a dram very soon. All the best.